There's a top-selling SUV that has racked up almost 6 months, half a year's worth of pre-orders, of sales before the product has ever even begun construction. And it's not coming to America. Welcome back to All Cars, y'all. I am John. I am glad to be back. And I read this a couple of days ago and I found it really interesting. Now, for those few of you who view my channel from Australia, you're familiar with this product. It's called the Ford Everest. This is actually the third generation that they're releasing, and this has been based on originally the Mazda B platform truck and most recently the T6 Ranger. And the earlier ones I didn't really like that much, but this new one looks pretty sharp. I really like it, and I find it very interesting. They have no intention of bringing this to America. So the story is that this has been around since 2003, I think, and unsurprisingly, as this is Ford's Asia Pacific product, we haven't seen it in America, and I'm kind of shocked with the insatiable hunger that we have here for sport utilities, where there's no niche too small to squeeze another SUV in. I'm looking at you, Mazda, with the CX-3 and then the CX-30. I'm surprised that Ford has not made a move to bring this to America, especially when it's based on a truck platform that they did bring to America. I don't know if they think that this is going to maybe step over the edge or it's too close to the Explorer. I don't really understand it, but it's a truck-based sport utility, and the latest one looks really, really good. Now, let's frame this ever so slightly, that when they had the release date for this, they've had about 2 months of pre-sales. Ford in Australia has racked up what they like to say is half a year's worth of orders, so they're actually ordered into 2023. This is the 2023 Everest, and the top of the line model is overwhelming in terms of the amount of demand they're actually getting for it. This thing has 2 engines. It has a 4-cylinder and then I think it's a 3-liter diesel V6, and that platinum trim at the top has exceeded their expectations. But keep in mind that based on their forecast, we're only talking around somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 orders. We're not talking about 100,000 orders here, but it's still pretty cool that it's blown away their expectations. Now, in Australian dollars, this starts at about $52,000 and goes up to about $77,000 in the top spec. But it's interesting that they're not bringing it here. I think they've got a hit on their hands. It looks great inside, outside, and the problem is, well, it looks a little derivative to me. Again, with Ford making the shift to sport utilities, you'd think that they could find a space in their portfolio for this, and honestly, I think they're kind of missing the boat a little bit. I think they're concerned it would stomp over the Explorer's role in our market, and early versions of the Everest actually looked a lot like an Explorer to me. But it's truck-based, it's rear-wheel drive. It would be a strong competitor to go directly against, say, the Grand Cherokee or the Toyota 4Runner. So I'm a little surprised Ford isn't bringing it here. But when I say it looks a little derivative, well, look at the front end here. Well, for all the world, that looks like a GMC Terrain to me. It looked like the Acadia as well, except that GMC redesigned the Acadia. But then when you look at the rear end, this, for all the world, looks like a Durango. So I think it would succeed because I like the Terrain, I like the old Acadia, and I kind of dig the styling on the Durango. It's not my top choice in an SUV by a long shot, but this looks good. This looks really sharp. The interior looks pretty good as well. A lot of plastic, but this is pretty cool. Good luck, Australia. I'm glad it's going to be a top seller for them once they work through these supply chain constraints that we keep hearing about. But I look at Ford's portfolio here in America, and the Edge is getting old. The Explorer's big, rear-wheel drive. I just see this fitting in and giving Ford a direct competitor specifically to that Toyota 4Runner. I'd like to see him bring it here. So if you're one of my friends from down under and you've owned one of these, let me know what you think of it below. But for those of us in America, would you like to see this here? Do you think it would stomp over other Ford products, or do you think it would slide right in and provide that truck-based alternative that maybe some people out there are looking for? Let me know below, guys. I appreciate you being here.